What's up, everybody? We're back with another edition of 101 MMA Clinic. We got a stacked event ahead of us this weekend. UFC 284, Islam Makhachev versus Alexander Volkanovski kicking it off in Australia. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Are you ready? I'm ready. Are you ready? I'm ready. Are you ready? I'm ready. I'm ready. Let's go.
What's up, brother?
What's up?
Cheers. I'm doing H2O today.
Oh, old good H2O.
Yeah, gotta stay hydrated,
Yeah, me
being
too.
healthy.
Me too. What's new?
We got a little bit something new for the channel. Actually, we got a new logo.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Yeah, a little new look. You could catch that on the different social medias. Not bad. I dig it.
yeah, yep.
Some clean colors.
Yep. Now we need to fix our intro too in a couple weeks, and then we can start fresh. I mean, we're already starting fresh. I came fresh from Thailand. We had one show. Now it's the second one, first big one. So we're gonna have fun weekend. Um, what I wanted to say when we're starting fresh, let's remind people why they should watch us and not other guys, because we have a two black belts with MMA experience that like are picking the winners for you. And the difference between us and everybody else, like that, we are trying to find underdogs, and that's how you make money. It's easy to pick the favorites, but like, what if the favorites slip on his way to the cage? Okay, then it's maybe no contest. Like in the cage in the first round, and we saw a lot of, and we were talking about like what happened to Aspinall, to Ortega, to many other guys. Like a lot of things can happen. And if you're connecting those favorites and putting money, like then later you need like so many good picks and wins to get back to zero. With the underdogs, and especially connecting the underdogs, you can make really good money with less investment. And that's my opinion. Why you should listen the shows that they're doing breakdown of the fights, and I think we are one of the rare that really look for that underdog. So keep eye on it, especially with the new design.
I want to say we're the only MMA show that has two jiu-jitsu black belts hosting. I'm just saying. I don't know if that's a fact or not, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, let's go VR. And if
Yes, we are. That's it.
somebody can can say opposite, and then we will not use that anymore.
Yeah, come find us if you're out there hosting a show with another black belt.
Or that we can make a match, then maybe like 2-on-2, or
That's a good idea.
yeah,
All right, you heard it here first. We're challenging any other black belt duo that also runs a MMA show.
that's it. Like we don't call out any black belts. Like let's stay. I'm impatient. I need to enjoy. I don't want to prepare for anything, right?
Yeah,
Except
yeah.
for our show.
Well, last week we had some good picks. I thought at least. How'd
You
you do?
thought, let, rewind. Let's see what was the last week.
All right, here last week we had the headliner Derek Lewis versus Sergey Spivak. I obviously picked that one correctly. You'll see Alex here in the red. He missed the mark that time.
I'm crying because of that one. I'm crying so much. He cost me so much money. And plus, I did it so stupid because it was super late. I was still jet lagged. And usually, what I do, because I already had a lot of money on him, even before putting more bets, like I was like 600 on that one, and I had another one like 250, I think. So basically, that I didn't
Damn.
touch anything. I would be like, if Derek Lewis come, I would be good 850. So, but like I was idiot, jet lagged, and I put more money on him. So he cost me a lot. You know,
But Alex, this one started at like midnight, so you had extra time to catch up on sleep. So I don't know if that's a valid excuse.
no, but like I was supposed to sleep them before, but I didn't took the nap because I was watching the Bellator and retirement of Fedor Emelianenko.
That
And
was legendary.
I
Yeah.
put money on him too. Emotions were stronger. I knew there is no chance that he's gonna win.
Yeah.
Even like I put money that it will end up in the second round, and that was like so stupid. And I knew it, but I was like, he can at least, like, I was cheering that he will survive one round. But
That's unusual for you. You usually put your money where your brain is, not where your heart is. But for me on this card, as you can see, I went full on Asian. I went all Asians. But I actually thought they were gonna win. Like thinking about the styles as well. You'll see I missed the mark with the co-main event, Da Un Jung. I thought he was gonna get the win.
yeah, like I knew that Devin Clark is underrated, and I was thinking it's time for him to show something, and I thought he has a really good style to maybe get this one. Uh, and I guess I was right. But talking about that, like, and even like I did it in the moment when Fedor was entering the cage because my friends were here for a weekend, and they were like, "Oh, put money for us on Fedor." I was like, "Crazy guys," and they were like, "Yeah, I'm gonna quick pay you now, like just place it." And then I was like, "I'm not gonna touch that at all." And then he was entering with a Serbian song because like. Actually, the guy who is teaching kickboxing in the same gym where is my jiu-jitsu club in Serbia, he's the godfather of Fedor. They're pretty close, and he was like,
No way.
yeah, and he was in his corner. I don't know how many last fights, and I guess like the impact and everything, and he went out to the cage with a Serbian song. So that kicks me, and I was like, okay, I'm going again.
That's fair. I would do the same thing. Shit, if he came out to a Filipino song, yeah, hell yeah.
I guess it is how it is. But let's make this short, okay? So I had more good picks than you, so 1-0 for me. And talking about, let's go, if you can rewind to our previous picks from yeah, this is yours, poor. And you see, guys, what I'm talking about. That's exactly like you see, he go with all favorites and he missed. And what? Even that he won, it would be $70. You know, you cannot even take your girlfriend for a dinner.
Bro, you hear of McDonald's? We can go
Ah,
every day, all week. I could take her
okay,
there.
okay, you can take her few times for that date. And mine, let's see, that's a big money. On $10, almost 1,000. That's a good. And like I said, because Superboy was a draw, we take that out of the equation. I think it's around $600. So basically, I missed the last one, and usually when it stayed to the last one, I always go for the other guy, so I'm winning more or less 100%. It
Mhm.
doesn't happen what happened to me once, Blachowicz and Ankalaev.
Yeah.
And then I'm losing on both sides, but that's like super rare. So it is how it is.
We've been seeing more draws lately, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, I think they wanna like I think people are now betting more. So
Hmm.
I'm always going to the conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
So I think there is something there. They're asking for more draws.
Yeah, could be. Yeah, there's also the first time that I've seen someone take a point for the first foul. We were just talking about this. You're allowed to have like 3 fouls before anything happens. And it was the first foul that Du Ho Choi committed, and
Smallest violin.
yeah,
No, honestly,
it
talking
happened.
about that, going back to Bellator, so I'm watching the fights, and like first two fights, they were like Russians won, and first one was like super suspicious, you know,
Mhm.
and then you can see because you know how I like to bet live, all those bets from Bellator just disappear. It was like so weird between DraftKings and Bellator matches. Like, so I think something is going on, especially after uh, Kraus was like, and what happened. And talking about that, guys, I need to mention again, he's not in the game anymore. We are trying to take number one spot.
We haven't even fixed any fights yet, so I mean, we're off to a good start.
Yeah, I mean, but I guess we're gonna have a better percentage of guessing right if you start fixing the fights. So
Yeah, maybe he's onto something.
yeah,
We should just not brag about winning all this money if we start making money. I think
no,
that's
we
the
can. We are not. We don't have anything that can stop us. Like not like him that mixing two businesses that he shouldn't.
That's true. Yeah. Well, we'll see. There's still a pending investigation, right? So maybe he's innocent. Who knows?
I don't know. I heard when I came America, you're innocent until it's proved opposite or guilty or
Yes, that's correct.
something
So
like that.
he's an innocent man right now until he's proven guilty. Yeah.
Okay, he is innocent. He admitted.
That's pretty much true. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's
Let's go
see.
to our main event.
We actually got a pretty nice card this weekend. Pound for pound number one versus pound for pound number two, if you believe in that kind of thing, which I think whether you do or don't, these guys are some of the very best in the sport right now. Islam Makhachev versus Alexander Volkanovski. How are you feeling about this fight? How do you see it?
I agree, but like if we're gonna go and see what's going on, like I think this is the great fight for Alex. Even though he's gonna lose, he's gonna make great money, and he's not losing like his title. So it's still staying for him. So it's perfect choice for that. Anything else, like I really don't see how he's gonna win this fight. Even if we go in his style, let's go like just like this. In last 5 fights, Islam really peaked up. He finished all his last five
Mhm.
fights. Uh, Volkanovski in last five only finished one Korean zombie. So even in the category down, he's struggling. Like I don't know, from that five, was it like maybe even three with Max Holloway or two, and it was like some of them that were like pretty close. And talking about that, Max Holloway has a head adventure, like and moved up to 155, and you saw
Mhm.
how it ended up.
Yeah.
And even against the guy who is not on the level that I think Islam is. And everybody's just talking about Islam's wrestling. Nobody's saying about his stand up. We saw just a little bit in his last match when he managed to drop down Oliveira and then to do even more impressive thing to submit guy who has the most submission in UFC. That's talking enough. Just like a difference in the category, first time in 155 in UFC. I just don't see the way how he's gonna win by those statistics and talking about the styles between two of them. Islam is southpaw. Alex Volkanovski was really, how to say, hittable, especially from the dead side that usually on the orthodox is coming with the left, with the front. For the Islam, that's going to be the power hand.
Mhm.
Uh, so I just see that that's going to be a big trouble, especially like Islam doesn't use the jab that much. He's really with his movement in and out, setting up that his backhand, that's his power hand, and I think that's gonna be the key in this match. Like even if you forget about wrestling and all that shit, I think that's gonna bring him a victory. Like I think it's plus 400 at least. It was like I throw like $25 on that. So I think that's maybe also a good pick because like putting the bet on Islam, how much it is like a minus 310. Am I right? No, 380. Like guys, how I'm going with that. Like I don't like
Mhm.
if it's not plus or even like uh, uh, close to 100 in minus. I'm not playing with that.
That being said, you clearly think Islam's going to be the winner, but is it worth putting money on the underdog, Alexander Volkanovski?
I really don't see the way how he's gonna win this fight.
Hmm.
So I don't know. Maybe you can do it like same like I did with Fedor. and hope that Islam's gonna slip and fall on the kick. You know, like he slips,
Yeah.
start falling, and the kick comes, and that's the best chance for Volkanovski to win that fight.
Well, like I mostly agree, especially with like how people are talking up Islam's wrestling, which of course is amazing, but his striking, he's got the best striking defense in the UFC. Um, Something that he picked up, especially after his last loss, his only loss, when he got knocked out. He's since then had the greatest striking defense, and against a striker like Volkanovski, I don't think that's a good thing, especially with the size disadvantage. But something that's interested in the lead up is Islam's promotion, if you want to call it that, saying that he wants to knock out Volkanovski, right? Because everyone's saying that his wrestling's so good, but he wants to show. Yeah, I think it's like just a page out of Mayweather's book, promoting the fight, saying I'm gonna knock this guy out, and then fighting his fight, which is safe defensively, and in Islam's case, probably gonna grapple him. I think if he's grappling Volkanovski, there's no reason why he wouldn't just win that fight either by submission or 5 rounds. Uh, usually usually in these cases you'd give the other guy a puncher's chance, but like you said, in the featherweight division, even there, like Volkanovski's not having so much success knocking people out, which is probably what he has to do against Makhachev. But one thing that surprises me is like a lot of people have been talking to me about this fight, and a surprising amount of people are giving Volkanovski a chance. I think that's just because, he's had some good fights against Max Holloway. For me, he's beaten a lot of like my favorite fighters, but so I'm kind of rooting for him just to keep, that going. But I think when the skill sets are so close, and they're pretty close in this, the bigger fighter is probably going to win, and that's Islam. So I think we agree on this. Islam's going to win.
Yeah, and talking about that, I think it's more about the hype. People like I think listen a lot to Volkanovski what he's saying, and just like just guys, many times we got distracted by talking and we are forgetting. Just like look the stats, like he didn't even finishing the fights in his category, you know, and he was like even like in close in some fights. Let's not forget about the fight with Chad Mendes, where Chad Mendes dropped him exactly with the
Yeah.
weapon that I said. It was left hook. It was for a second, but like he dropped him down, like he
Mhm.
managed to took his back. So that's the things like with the smaller guy. I think Chad Mendes is even smaller than Volkanovski, if that's possible. You know, in the height.
Yeah.
And we are talking about the Islam, who is bigger. I think even have a better ground game than Chad Mendes. You know, so just like take those facts, and then you're gonna see like I mean, there's always a chance. You know, it's MMA, one punch decided, or even like a slippery cage. You know, you
Yeah.
never know what's gonna happen. You know, there is so many, but like if you look percentage wise, you know, I really don't see. And talking about that, going for the underdogs, you know, I need to see something that that person can win. You know, like same like last weekend when I went for a Fujit, when I went with Devon Clark, you know, I saw that they have a weapon to win that fight, and it was
Mhm.
like similar odd to this one, you know. But like I was really confident that they have tools to finish that job. I really don't see like even though let's say he's pound for pound, I don't see that he has a tool to solve this puzzle, you know. And coming back again, it's more about the matchups than the quality of the fighter. You know, sometimes like even like you can be better than someone 5 times, but if he's your bad matchup and you have like a less opening to win against him, you know, smaller chance.
Yeah. How do you think Islam gets it done?
KO. I believe,
KO.
I believe him. Plus 400 all day.
Do you
I
think
just
he tries to wrestle with him though?
probably. I mean, if he have to wrestle, he will wrestle. You know, Like again, like when they shorten the distance, Islam is really good with the hooks also, like, and he's really good in managing distance. And usually when they close the distance, he likes to use those hooks, and then he'll probably go for grabs, and then he's gonna try to throw him down, you know. But like I think like by his movement and also movement of Alec Volkanovski, they will not get so much like he will not force the wrestling. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
be more time spent on the feet, and especially like I said previously about the bad matchup, and Volkanovski's got hittable from his right side, from Volkanovski's side.
Mhm.
That's the perfect for Islam, you know. And I think he will catch him in some entrance because he likes to drive forward with his punches, and from the counter, I can see that Islam is gonna KO him with a hook or with a straight down the pipe.
I think we're both pretty excited for this fight, but are you surprised that the UFC is not promoting it that much in this past week and the week before?
How? Let's go honestly. They become like McDonald's. Coming back to that, they're just like
Yeah.
pointing the fights. You know, it's not
Yeah.
like before we had to wait. Even today, I ask you like we have a couple weeks. No, we have events every week now. You
Yeah.
know? And the next big one, even bigger than this one, and this is pretty big. A pound number one against pound number two, and we have like in a month even bigger for heavyweight crown.
Uh, you know what fight this reminds me of? This is going kind of far back. The last time I remember like a pound for pound one and pound for pound two, the guys moving up to fight him was BJ Penn versus GSP. Do you remember that?
Yeah, of course, that was
And
one.
I remember being so excited for that fight, and like everyone I knew who didn't even watch UFC was interested in that fight. Like that's how big it was at the time.
Yeah, because like if we go back to that, and now it's too late to check, but like probably like a month before that and month after that, like more or less there was no events. So they
Right.
put all the marbles in one basket, you know. It's just about that. They become hyper production, you know. I mean, it's better for us. We can bet every weekend. So
Yeah.
at least for
Yeah.
me, you're not betting. You're
Yeah.
betting.
No, I can enjoy the fights every weekend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. And also you're betting through me every time I put money on your picks.
That's true.
Who
Yeah,
do-
but I mean, promotion or no promotion, I'm excited for this fight.
I agree.
Usually you would see like maybe a press conference, like World Tour, maybe for something like this. But even without it, I think like the hardcores understand this is a very high level fight happening.
I agree. Who do we have next?
Next, moving on to the co-main event, we've got Yair Rodriguez, Josh Emmett. If you didn't know, this is actually for the vacant featherweight title because the current featherweight championships in the main event. Moving up.
Yeah, talking exactly about that hyper production. You see now how even they are making like a belts. They're like
Yeah.
printing belts, you know, just to again that narrative, you know. So UFC is losing that 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 they had before, you know. So that's sad to see, but like, okay, we have a title fight, 5 rounds, more option to make some good picks, you know. So,
Yeah.
what do you think about this one?
I mean, I'm excited for it. I'm kind of surprised that they chose these guys in particular for the title fight, but it's going to be a fun fight nonetheless. I think Josh Emmett, he's shown that he's got a lot of power in his hands and he could knock a lot of people out. I like Yair Rodriguez striking for this. I don't even know what to call it. It's not taekwondo, it's not kickboxing, it's not karate. It's kind of his own style where you can't see anything coming, and he really makes it into an art. I think with Josh Emmett's skill set, the power in the hands is not going to be enough to take out Yair Rodriguez. I mean, if he catches him, for sure he can put his lights out. But I think Yair Rodriguez has shown time and time again like he could strike with some of the best, including Max Holloway, who I think like very highly of his striking. I believe was it 2 fights ago he was winning a lot of those striking exchanges, I thought, against Max Holloway and losing some of the grappling exchanges en route to that loss. But I think Yair Rodriguez showed that he could stand up with anybody in the division, and if Josh Emmett is going to stand with him, I think it's Yair Rodriguez taking the title this weekend. How about you?
Yeah, I think Yair did something good, like he got like a perfect present, to win the title, because like
Hmm.
again, talking about the styles, I don't see how Josh Emmett can win this fight. His style with like low stance, like a wide guard, and trying to run and chase that KO. He does have KO power. Even like if you guys remember, like with the jab, he put Mirsad Bektic to his butt and then finish it with ground and pound. Like in the last minute. And what's interesting, like they both have last minute finish the fights that they were losing. Yair, in my opinion, against Korean Zombie, and Emmett against Michael Johnson. So he was losing, and then he managed to knock him out. So he has that power. But like also, it's gonna happen sometimes. Like you're not gonna have that high percentage. Like the next guy that we're gonna talk about, and I'm pretty excited about him,
Yep, me too.
Maddalena.
Yep.
Like you don't have that velocity. You're not setting it up, like so you can have like high KO percentage. Like more or less, he's like it happens time to time. He has the power in the hands, but he doesn't have the tools to get himself in position to
Mhm.
to have like a lot of those high level how to say attempts for a KO. Let's say it like that.
Yeah.
Also, like we saw in the match against Qatar, and I think that's his last match that brought him to the table for the title. Like, and if you look, guys, that fight against Qatar and Emmett, like Qatar really has a similar build like a Yair.
Yeah.
And even if you see the same size, that they're both 5'11", if I'm not mistaken. So the only and in my opinion, he lost that fight. If you go back
Yeah.
and check the statistic, how much the strikes was, that there was like Qatar outstriking 119 to 92.
Yeah. I remember it being very close. Like it could go either way. But
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and he outstrike him, and more or
Mhm.
less it was like a boxing match.
Yeah.
Like Yair is bringing like a lot of other weapons to the table. He's really, like you said, you cannot put his style. He's really unpredictable. He's gonna use a lot of those kicks every time, and switch. Every time when he switches his stance, he's gonna use those kicks. He's gonna use
Hmm.
that kicks front, like that tricky kicks, like crazy kicks. And also like he has unpredictable submissions. Like he's not maybe best jiu-jitsu guy, but like he has submissions that he can surprise you. If you just remember against Frankie Edgar, when he went for that knee bar, like from the bad positions, he's gonna roll and try to get it, and he almost get Frankie Edgar. I think that his
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu is higher level, more technical. How to say? That's what I'm saying. That his jiu-jitsu is not good. He would finish that because it was really good opportunity. So in the scrambles, in the crazy things, he's gonna get in position. Like, and again, Frankie is much higher level in defending and in jiu-jitsu department than Josh Emmett, so it was harder to catch him. But like I can see with the same attack, he would finish Josh Emmett. That's
Hmm.
just my opinion. So I really don't see how Emmett can win this fight, because only way to beat Yair is to make it a dog fight, to make him tired, to make him bleed. Especially he has a lot of those scar tissues. Uh,
Yeah.
he easily opens and bleed. So that's the way how to beat him. Make him tired, make him bloody, make him sweaty, and for that you need the tools. And I don't see with Josh Emmett staying on the distance and then just running, marching forward, and even in those marching, like he sometimes stays in awkward positions. Like even like for me, a couple times it looked like he's gonna fall on the head. He stays. how to say, in outbalanced or whatever,
Mhm.
just like out of the position for
Yeah.
striking, and especially like a dangerous striker like a Yair, that's like Christmas Christmas evening.
Yeah, we could possibly have two Mexican champions in like I think like two pay-per-views back to back, right? Because the last one was Moreno.
Oh yeah, yeah, you're
So
right.
Mexico's coming up big this year, and if he wins, that is. But a little bit surprised. I wonder if they came to Max Holloway with this offer because you would think that if anybody gets a shot at the vacant title, Max Holloway would be one of those names. Are you surprised by that?
Yeah, you see, you're right, but like I think again, it's all about the new faces. You know,
Hmm.
maybe Max was like taking some time off. I don't know when he had his last fight. You know, like his fights were like pretty tough. You know,
Yeah.
lately, too much damage. I don't know. Does he now taking more breaks between the fights? And also like to make again Yair against Max. Maybe that wasn't interesting to them. Maybe they try like to. I think they gave like I said at the beginning. I think this is the gift for Yair because he's super exciting guy, and he will probably have like a one of the crazy KOs because there is
Yeah.
so much opening for him to create really good moment and to make a highlight KO. And then after that, it's gonna be so easy to market Yair against Volkanovski because that match. Just think about like this. Okay, now it makes more sense. It makes sense in my brain now when I'm saying it makes more. Like, okay, they gave Max to Emmett or Max and Yair. Most likely, Max is gonna win. A new match between Max and Volkanovski doesn't bring that much.
Right.
It's just like deja vu. Okay, we saw it like Yair against Volkanovski is so easily promoted, you know,
Hmm.
and I think it's gonna be amazing fight and new challenge for Volkanovski.
Yeah, that's a good point. It shows some foresight to their planning. And even if Volkanovski and Rodriguez don't happen right away, or Emmett for that matter, like Max could still slide in. But he actually has a fight scheduled not too far from now against Arnold Allen. So I'm kind of surprised, but it does make sense that they just want new faces, new blood in that title contention.
Exactly,
So we're both going Rodriguez in this, yeah?
correct.
All right, let's see who we got next. Oh, okay. Yeah, so it seems like we're both excited for this fight. Jack Della Maddalena versus Randy Brown. Um, Jack Maddalena, I'm guessing that's the one that you're excited for, yeah?
Yeah, yeah. Like honestly, I wasn't excited for any newcomer. That much. How much? And I'm gonna be like how to say uh, how do you call it, bipolar or no, whatever. It's like I'm so excited about him, I'm so hyped, and I think like we have maybe like even future contender on our hands in him. Like actually I picked against him.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, talking about that, like on minus 325, like what I'm getting, You
Yeah.
know, I'm gonna probably play him in some parlays, but like talking about that, I saw the weapons that Randy Brown can beat him. You know,
Mhm.
he's super tall, maybe the tallest guy in that category. He's attacking like a weird submissions. Jack he almost got finished like in his first or second fight.
Yeah. Second fight. Yeah. And
Yeah, that Russian guy. He
yeah.
showed the toughness, even in his Dana White Contender Series. He shows some problems on the ground when he gets tired.
Mhm.
So I really see if the Randy push the pace, managed to put his game plan on it. I really see he can win this fight. But like talking about the Jack, like really, I I don't know what to say. I'm super excited about that guy. Keeping his hands up, like jab, perfect. Like combination to the body, switching the stance. I don't remember last time when I saw someone so smoothly switch from stance to stance.
Yep.
You know, uh, also like we need to do the breakdown this for sure. Like he did the same technique in his Dana White Contender Series and I think in his last fight, like when he was uh, took him down, almost like they took his back. He was grabbing the wrist and rolling over the leg and managed to end up on top.
Yep. He
That
did it against Amiev, yeah.
yeah, and he almost like I think the choking, he almost choked him up for that position.
Hmm.
But like in the Danavat Contender Series, he end up on top really nicely. Like second time he got like a little bit stuck, but I really like that technique, and that's the first time that I saw it, and I saw it from him. So
Hmm.
talking about that, I think most likely he's gonna win 80%. But like I said, on that high minus, I'm gonna give a chance to Randy Brown, and I'm gonna go with him.
Um, I'm liking that you're saying all these good things about him because I was thinking the similar things. Like, am I crazy? Like, this guy might be the next champion or something because a lot of the things that he does very well. And like how we are talking about with Josh Emmett, he has the knockout power if he lands. But this guy, I'm sure he has knockout power, but he's setting it up beautifully with the strikes to the body. He's sliding just out of range and then countering right away. So like his timing, his distance is perfect. His accuracy, it's not just power. He's setting it up. And a lot of times, because he's a young kid, he's 25, he's obviously predominantly a striker. Usually, when you see those, like they have very little grappling. And I was actually impressed. I know you said he almost got choked in the Anaconda, but I thought he showed like a lot of patience and like getting out of that Anaconda and staying safe, and then he goes right to the body and knocks the guy out. So the reversals he hit, when he hooks and then he rolls, like I thought that was slick. And it shows that like even though he's a striker, he's got enough grappling to get out of those and back to where he wants to be. So I'm excited for this guy. That being said, I'm surprised you picked Brown, but I can see it because Brown's been in the UFC for 7 years. He's got knockouts. He's got submissions. He's fought and won some notable fights, right? Like Alex Oliveira, Francisco Trinaldo, Brian Barberino. These are solid guys, battle tested guys. And as good as Jack Della Maddalena looks, I don't know any of the guys that he's fought really. Like he's finishing them. He's doing well. He's passing the test, but Randy Brown is going to be his toughest test this weekend. And I
Yeah,
think he's going to, what's that?
yeah, I agree, and that's why I'm saying, like why, and I don't see the reason to put like this big difference in the odds. Like you said,
Yeah.
it's still not tested. I think like you said, and I really think talking about him, he started his career with 0-2. So
Yeah.
first two fights, two defeats. I mean,
Hmm.
it was in middleweight. He put down later in the welterweight, and since then he's undefeated, and he looks amazing. And also, like we forgot, like how he rolls with the punches, like not only
Yeah.
moving out, like also when he get hit, he's like amortizing those punches. So really amazing. But again, like we have a veteran, and talking
Hmm.
about that, he's like from Dana White Contender Series, and Randy Brown is coming from Looking for the Fight. If you remember that show,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So we have like two eras, like
Yeah.
like a new and old, like, and
Hmm.
we're gonna see. I think maybe like I said, if he lose, it's gonna be a lesson. And he's just gonna grow. Like same like when he started 0-2. And this is like
Hmm.
opportunity for him, maybe even to gain something from defeat. But we're gonna see, is Randy Brown tough cookie for him to swallow.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with some of Jack Della's opponents, you could see like the first one, I think it was something Rodriguez, or maybe it was Roberts. They looked a little tentative, like scared. As soon as they started exchanging, they looked a little nervous. I don't think we're going to see that from Randy Brown because he is a veteran and he's been with some tough motherfuckers in there. Like, I think Randy Brown is not going to be afraid of him and he's going to try to knock him out. He does have a weird, like, he's very lanky, very big for the division. I wonder if Maddalena's fought anybody like that size with that power and, the ability to just scrap and go for chokes from weird positions, but it's going to be an exciting fight. Yeah, he kind of reminds me of like Conor McGregor in his prime. I know Conor McGregor is not what he once was, but just the way he just slides right out and then counters and like just so precise, it's very impressive.
Yeah, let's praise him a little bit, a little bit more, because I forgot. Like when you said about like that he only stay composed in that show. Like,
Yeah.
even though his level is not good, but like I think his mindset, even though like like you need to learn a lot of techniques, you need to get go repeat, like, and then even like in competition, this, so you can start submitting people, getting this, but like the mindset and the feeling that he had to survive that choke and to end up on top. Also, like
Mhm.
those rolling, so he has a brain, I guess, just like it needs time to click. And I think in a couple of years, when also like his submission game, or like he doesn't have to go for submission, but like I mean, like jiu-jitsu game gets on even close to level of his striking, I think like we said, we have a new champion in that category.
Yeah.
But like we need to say something bad about him. What about his face? Did you saw how bad he is? I was like,
Yeah.
did your wife beat you up with a frying pan? Like,
Yeah, I couldn't believe he was 25. I guess he's 26 now, but yeah, he looks very very worn, very battle tested face.
No, I think it's just one punch with a pan, like when he was little, and just like flatten it out. No, I'm kidding. Like I was really
Yeah.
interested in what happened, and I guess it's his first or second fight. He got the knee, and his nose
Oh,
completely on the side, and I guess
I'll do
his
it.
forehead and his chin are same, and now nose is moving on the side, so it's
Dang,
completely flat.
that'll do it.
Maybe he believes
Um,
in the flat earth too.
you know, this guy actually has the second longest winning streak going into this in on this card, only next to Volkanovski. So that should say something about like just the tear that this kid's on, even if he has a flat face.
Yeah, and especially we have Islam there too. So that's saying something
Yeah.
big, like you said.
Yeah. Up
Okay,
next, we got some
big
big
boys.
boys. Justin Tafa versus Parker Porter. Who you got in this one?
I'm going with the Porter. Like I think just he's more complete. And I was just like, let's try it. Let's make something different, because I was guessing you're gonna go with Tafa on the Australian soil.
Yeah, freaking Mark Hunt Jr. I'm going with him. Um, I just I think he's a better striker than Parker Porter. But one thing that gives me kind of pause in going with him is that he missed weight. He's the first heavyweight fighter in the UFC to miss weight, and he managed to do that. And since then, even though he won his fight against our boy Huntsucker, um, he was scheduled 2 times to fight last year, and he pulled out of both for undisclosed reasons. And in my mind, I start thinking like, does it have to do with his weight, discipline issues? Like, what's happening here? Is he even going to show up to this fight? Because to miss the 265 mark at heavyweight, that's obviously very rare. He's the first and only guy to do it. So I just wonder, like, if he shows up to the fight, if he can get in the cage, I think he has a good chance of knocking this guy out. But yeah, it's just a question of where his mind's at, where his discipline is at. because like to miss weight at any weight class is unprofessional, but at heavyweight, come on,
It's
make the
unique. It's unique. He wants to be special. He's one and only. Nobody else
yeah.
can say that. So yeah, but like talking about like he's too much relying, on that left swing.
Hmm.
The only thing that I see, okay, we are not counting our, like you said, our guy Hans Zucker and that high kick because like it's an accident. Against
Hunsucker had his moments, man. He almost broke that arm with that standing Kimura,
he did, and I'm sad that our guy didn't get it, but like it is how it is. So I really like. I think Porter is more all around. He will try to go for a takedown. He's mixing kicks and punches, even though I think kicks is going to be a trouble in this match, especially like how Justin likes to swing, and with the
Mhm.
kicks, he can be open to it. And like, I mean, only two things that I like with Justin is like that power and that swing, but like even that put him to the trouble when he got KO'd in his debut because he was running like like a crazy with that swing and got KO'd and
Yeah.
sent to the dreamland really nicely by I think Cuban guy, if I remember good. Doesn't even matter, but like exactly like uh, too aggressive with 5-3. Like how much is like he's like 2-3 in UFC, if I'm
Mhm.
not mistaken. So
Yeah.
and only other nice thing that I really like about Tafa is that uppercut, front uppercut that he's using. He's really slicing nicely, and he's combining that with that swing. But like with two weapons, I mean, you can do that only in heavyweight, or other
Yeah.
category. He wouldn't even fight in the local shows. So no skills, just like power, and we're gonna see. And a big guy.
Yeah, I think this is one of those fights where they need to have more like hometown boys on the card, and this is a heavyweight to open up the show.
I
But
I agree. I agree. Let's
I
look.
think I think he can get done. One thing that's in my opinion going well for Porter is just his activity. Like I think taking the whole year off, might not be the best for Tafa, especially if he has weight issues. But still, I think he could put it together for this one.
Yeah, very possible, and that's only like not even lucky KO, but like by KO. But like
Yeah.
I see, like and why I pick Porter, like he has more weapon to win. Like he will try
Yeah.
to wrestle, even though his wrestling is not amazing. He
Yeah.
will try
But
to push the pace, push the grind, and I think like especially like he can work on the cardio and break Tafa's spirit, and then he has more opportunity to win. Like
mhm.
that's it. Like I just thought like more weapons to win, and I wanted to do something a little bit different, and that's it.
Yeah, heavyweight division, that's got to be the hardest to put money on though, right?
Yeah, I agree.
It could really go either way, it feels like.
In this fight for sure. That's it.
Wow.
Let's move to the next one, more interesting one.
Yeah, on to the next one. We got Alonzo Meniefiled versus Jimmy Crute. I see he doesn't have the luxurious mullet in this picture. Interested to see how he comes in this weekend, but I'm going with Alonzo Menifield in this one. I like Jimmy Crute. I think game plan wise, he comes out with the right game plan a lot of times, and he's gritty. But it's just a matter of executing that game plan. Like in his last fight against Jamal Hill, I thought he came out with the right idea, trying to kick with Jamal Hill, not exchange too many of the punches, and it just I don't know if it's not his style or he got a little too excited. He charged in and was there to get hit by Jamal Hill a couple times. He started out right idea, couldn't execute it, and I think he's gonna try something with Menifield. similar in the sense that he's adapting his game plan. He's gonna try to wrestle with Alonzo Meniefiled, try to clinch and grapple, get him tired because we know Meniefiled, he's got that knockout power early in the fight. But I just think Menifield's going to be able to stuff those takedowns and defend like he did in his last fight against Serkinov. And if he can do that, Jimmy Crute's probably going to be there to get hit. So I'm going with Menifield via KO. I think he's got a lot of power, and especially after defending the clinch and defending the takedowns, it's impressive that he could still carry that power and actually generate some considerable power from awkward positions. So I'm going with Menifield in this.
Yeah, I had the same pick like you. I just think Jimmy was on a really hype train. He had the good performances. He managed to get, and it's just the question how he's gonna return. Like there is no so much things in his head. Like two losses, even though it was from Anthony Smith and current champion Hill. Like it's still like that makes effect on you. And now he has really dangerous guy in front of him. And exactly what you're talking about, adapting this, that, it's going to be a lot of doubt it's in his head probably in this one. And that's the only reason why I decided to go with Manifield. And I think like he's gonna get it, and exactly how you said, like by KO. Hesitation in Jimmy, I think it's gonna be a big in this fight.
Yeah, and it's like I got to give him props because I forgot watching that Anthony Smith fight and seeing the drop foot and how he couldn't even stand, like the determination and the grit that it takes to even land a takedown when you can't even stand on one foot. That's really impressive. Nonetheless, he lost that fight, doctor stoppage, and then the next one he got KO'd by Jamal Hill. So like you said, two finishes in a row, two losses in a row. I think going against a heavy hitter like Menifield, it's going to be very difficult to overcome that.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. But let's see on Saturday how it's gonna go. Let's see now our final list of the picks. What we got for this weekend.
Let's see. So my picks are here in the blue. Alex with the red. Looks like we're actually on the same page for three of them.
Yep, that's better than the last weekend. Okay, good.
I mean, even though we both think Jack's gonna win, you gotta change it up a little bit.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. Like I just like again from the betting aspects, I went with the Randy Brown. Like I'm trying to find like the reasons, and when I'm like certain more than 60%, I'm gonna go with the underdog.
He's what you would call a live dog. He's got a solid chance of winning despite being the underdog. So not a bad choice.
Yeah, really good chance to win.
Well, so if we look at the breakdown, so are these?
That's mine.
Those are your picks. All right.
Okay, so on $10, 380, which is not bad. And let's see yours.
117.
Better
Hey,
than last weekend.
that's a little bit more McDonald's than last week. If I win,
Maybe even like some better place, like how you do it.
there's nothing better than McDonald's, bro. Come on.
You can go to Giordano's maybe with that.
Oh shit, yeah, that's true. Yeah, fine dining at Giordano's. We'll see. We'll have to enjoy the fights. I think we got a stacked card ahead of us. And then what's next week? Do you remember?
No, but I can check it out. I think it's a smaller card. Let's see what we got for the next week. It's Santos Blankfield. So
Oh shit. I'm excited about that. I like Aaron Blanchfield.
yep. So it's girls' night.
Yeah. And then I want to say the next pay-per-view is Johnny Bones Jones versus Cyril Gahn.
Yeah, we have that. We have Kirillov and Span weekend after that, and then Jones and Cyril Gane. That's gonna be a fun one.
You're hip to all the betting odds and whatnot. Is there a betting line out there for if John Jones will make it to the fight without getting arrested?
Ooh, no, but maybe they
No.
should make it
Yeah, I'm thinking like I'm excited for that fight, but I'm trying not to get excited. You know what I'm saying?
because
Like
you think it's gonna go south.
I just I'll believe it when they're both in the cage.
Yeah, that's true. Like, and okay, I don't know, was he a favorite from beginning, but like he is betting favorites for now.
Jones,
Yep.
interesting. I think that's good money to put on Gon, just because I mean he's got a chance to win for sure.
No, and he's not that much underdog. It's plus 130, minus 150 on Jones. So we will
Yeah,
see. Probably it's going to be some odds moving. So let's
yeah,
see. There is still almost a month till that fight.
worth keeping an eye on for sure.
Okay, guys, almost 1 hour of fight talk.
All right,
Picks. Soon enough, we're gonna do some little short on betting and how you should approach that. So stay tuned. Like, subscribe. Only
that's
two black
right.
belts in fight picking business.
That's right. Two.
To
All right, ciao, brother.
have a good
Enjoy
night.
the fights.